Yes, I kid you not, I am indeed going to be talking about the Banquet Event for 2023. It always feels weird when 6 months in advance I'm talking about an event that's coming into Marvel Contest of Champions, but this makes total sense as to reasonings as to why. If you're like myself, a non-spending player in Marvel Contest of Champions, you want to make sure that you're picking up as many units as possible, and always can't rely on RNG to factor in some nice amount from an arena crystals. You want to make sure you know how much and if it's worth even grinding out those arenas and that content in order to get as much units as possible to then put into the Banquet Event. And yes, we've also got to consider the Cyber Weekend deals, but also this highly lucrative event, the Banquet Event. Will you be saving your units? So some quick facts for you if you're interested. There's 183 days between now and the 19th of December when the event may or may not start. We don't know, but I'm running with a 6-month kind of like period of kind of triangulation of how many units you can get. The same thing that there's 26 weeks and 1 day between now and the 19th of December. So effectively it's 26 weeks. So we're double the amount of arenas available. So, you know, you got 2 amount in a week. So it's going to be double 26. So, you know, in a nutshell, there's going to be 56. And finally, in those 83 days, there's 4,392 hours, which means that you can then divide that total by 22 hours to get an idea of just roughly how many 22-hour solo events are going to be in it. Let's get down to business. You may be like myself, sort of interested, maybe not interested in July 4th deals, which will be dropping very, very soon. And chances are that this will probably drop on the 30th of June, which will be a week on Friday. But we have got to get to the point, and that is trying to prepare for the future and 6 months time. 6 months, there are a lot of units on offer, mainly with the arena side of things, of course, but you can get some as well. So non-arena, except for arena wins, gives the following. So there's about 199 22-hour events. There's probably a little bit of a disclaimer that have to be kind of like alternated, but I would say it now comes to a point of taking this seriously. I'm going to have to take my arena grinding a lot more seriously, and also unit grinding in general and my solo events because of those unit take-homes, because nearly 5,000 units can be got from going down that process of those lovely little units that come from that. Look, you can auto fight through some of the lower quests in order to give units back. Again, personal preference. Maybe you'll be able to auto fight, maybe you won't be able to, and try not to use those units is a definite. Go and do that apothecary to minimize grind as well. But as well, those that summon a sigil, 1,950 units you'll get for those obviously spend in the game, based on 26 weeks as an average. And yeah, 10,735 units for those that don't spend, that are free to play, like myself, and those that are spenders, 12,685 units. There may be special events. Do bear in mind, we haven't seen any information about the Summoner Camp. We also have not seen any information about the Legends event. That's normally an August thing. And there may be fabulous crystals from a Deadpool-based event, an Unbreakable arena. I don't know that 100%, but we had it last year. We could have it this year. So yeah, there could be additional nearly 2,000 units on offer. Kabam have done it in the past, and I'm sure they'll think about doing it again to tantalize the community. So from an arena standpoint, this again is important. We'll kind of just get to the fundamentals based on 52 rotations, and do bear in mind in a 26 weeks that we've got until that 19th of December mark, we will have twice as much. So that basically puts us up to 52. So it'll be 52 times the amount for doing all the different types of milestones, if you're indeed looking to do them. So this means that from a lower end grind, you could see yourself get 8,216 units. If you did the Summoner Trials up to milestone 12, you can do more. It's up to you. There's also 16,796 units potentially available if you're able to do a medium grind, and a higher end grind, 25,376 units. And of course, with all of this, we need to transfer this into some data that at least you can go, well, how much am I actually looking to get? So 12,670 units for those that just want to do 22-hour events, and and if they get like a special random, unit giveaways or whatever it is. If you do a low-end unit grind, you get 23,800 886 units as an estimate, and as well that's with RNG of opening those arena crystals. And finally, if you're able to do a high-end unit grind, you may be able to get 32,358 potentially. You either get more or less. It very much depends on several different factors, your roster, interest in doing this, and as well, like when it comes to RNG of arena crystals, you know, you could, as you start the video, you saw me pick up a load of them, not a huge amount for, you know, 40, was it 40? No, it's 20 arena crystals being used. So results may vary on that one, but you know, you've got to be realistic about what you could logically take home. So that at least puts you in the picture of it. But the question will be, will it be worth it to save all of this? Yes. Let's just say first and foremost, 21,000 of those units will likely be used for the Cyber Weekend deals. That's where you're going to see probably the best of the stuff. The secondary point to this is how many you have available for the Banquet event. Now, you may say, no, Rich, I'm actually instead going to be investing all my units that I acquire for the Banquet event as opposed to Cyber Weekend. And again, that's down to a personal preference. In the Banquet event, there are free units that are available, and I'm sure that between the time of the Banquet event ending in the start of the next year, so January 2024, you may be able to grind it a little bit more. But to give you a bit of a perspective here, 12,600 units was only enough for a 6 to 10% position. So that gives you an idea. The further you go up, the further you get. So looking at this, 22,500 got position 1 to 3%. And again, the more you invest, the further you get for this. And for those interested, like what a 6 to 10%, 12,000 units invested gives you, well, you can see that on screen right now, where you can get a 6-star Nexus Hero Crystal, 1 6-star rank up gem 2 to 3, 1 6-star awakening gem crystal, 2 3-star relics and 1 4-star relic. Do bear in mind, metas will change and depreciation's already happened this year, so expect better rewards for the position, but it gives you a bit of a reflection there of what you invested last year and the amount of units required for what you take home. So something to really kind of like bear in mind, because it's all about the further you go, the further out of units, the more you'll take home. But do be very real, because, you know, non-spending players, even spending players, you're going to have to really kind of like budget now, invest in your grind and farming of units now if you haven't done already. Think about July 4th deals and how good they are versus what it would be like to then save the amount of units required to do Cyber Weekend and Banquet event, which I personally recommend a bit more than spending on the July 4th deals, but it's a personal preference. That's up to you. In any case, what are your thoughts on saving up for Banquet event right now and also the Cyber Weekend? As I said, my preference is always Cyber Weekend and Banquet event, mainly because the take home kind of reflects the depreciation in Marvel Contest of Champions. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means that for more units spent in game, you can get more things versus, say, the start of the year versus the end of the year. The end of year being more favorable in the take home and the volume of stuff that you would get versus at the start of the year, where, say, like, you know, 7 stars, tier 6 class catalysts are the meta, and then it kind of depreciates in value as you go on. But in any case, that has been the video. I thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button, support and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Check out some other content located on the screen as well. Much love, everybody. Have a lovely day. You lovely people. Bye-bye.